Hi and welcome everyone. I'm Bruce Swartz. Thanks so much for stopping by, for connecting, guys. An amazing bunch here of researchers and friends now. Guys, I'm going to talk to you quickly about Stanley Kubrick because he is a lot of talk on several YouTube channels the past few days that I've seen. His recent birthday, July 26th. He was born July 26, 1928, died 1999. Make a brief story, a basic story about him. He's a cinematographer, a film producer. He produces novels, short films, short stories, and novels that were written, by Spielberg, etc. The Shining, he made that movie, the screenplay, etc. Did a lot of very realistic work and is appreciated throughout the world. Very well known. I've known him myself, not as a fake moon landing filmmaker, but as the Shining filmmaker. Make a long story short, his daughter Vivian Kubrick on Twitter is trying to defend him and to debunk this mystery of fake moon landing conspiracy about her father, and there's a lot of commotion about it. But Stanley Kubrick, there's talk, and some of these channels are saying they have the proof. I'm just shooting it out there. It's interesting. It'd be interesting to look up a bit more about Stanley Kubrick. An amazing video, guys. Apollo 11 moon landing and more. Now we're going to go see a mock-up, what they call a mock-up, a setup here on Earth, a NASA photo of a real replica lander. A photo of astronauts Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong in NASA's training mock-up of the moon and lander module. Conspiracy theorists, me, say that the films of the missions were made using sets probably similar to these training mock-ups. Two members of the Apollo 11 lunar landing mission participate in a simulation of deploying and using lunar tools. This is called the lunar module mock-up. They have a real module in the back, just the carcass probably, but it's the real thing. A lunar soil, what replicates it, with real astronauts. So back up to 1969. Say if they wanted to use some of these photos, for example, I just took down the light. These are little things that you could do with the photos, and hey, we're talking in 1969, so the public were not expecting these to be fake either. It would have been really easy to convince the public that these were real. Here's some footage I made, and listen, you're seeing real surface. It's real moon footage, but I overlaid some extra effects, what looks like a capsule, and tried to recreate something real quick to see if, how it would look.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main beam bus undervolt.
Roger, main B undervolt. Okay, stand by, 13. We're looking at it.
Now when we look at these videos, we know programs exist. So I could have very easily done this, what you just see here. That's a lamp, by the way. I'm holding it in my hand. It's actually up in front of a screen of a television, and I'm filming like the craft is moving around. Yeah. Not hard to reproduce something. Okay, maybe it didn't look 100% real, you'll say. Well, it's because you already have that in your minds. Well, you look back at what people could buy as cameras in 1969, and they would have never have known about the CGI and special effects until many years after, as they did. This is the Apollo 11 moon landing. We're looking at some amazing details. Are they real or not? We're going to try to find out with my own telescope and go in live footage with my telescope, the 14-inch, to see this exact spot, to see if we can see anything. We got the LRRR, the camera, the LM, the PSEP, discarded cover, and this is what I want to see. Footsteps. A line here of the path they took is right there. We'll check it out. So this is Mare Tranquillitatis. Mare Crisium, Mare Serenitatis, Mare Fecunditatis over top. All the mares are in this area. And why did they land there? Well, this is where Mare Tranquillitatis is where all the other mares meet up. So all the pathways and corridors and whatever's on the surface is meeting up in Mare Tranquillitatis. They say the blue color is from the metallic minerals in the surface. So doing some research all the time about this area, but looking a bit more in depth this time about the Apollo 11 landing, and we're going to try to go in and see some of the details. They're showing us that there's a flag down there. We know that they say the
here we're seeing them in
American
their
flag
spaceships,
was
the
supposed to
astronauts
be blown
spiraling
over,
around, and
but
everything's
that it's
floating
still
around
there.
And then we see
faded.
the astronauts
I've seen a color
on
there's
the
a color
moon,
there's
dropping
a picture on Wikipedia.
objects.
They show the bloody flag with this color still in it. I don't understand it. Okay, I leave my red shirt on the deck, and 3 months after it's white. But after 50, 60 years on the moon, the flag's still going to be there. So all this talk about the temperatures dropping and plummeting down to 2,000 degrees is bullshit. I'll drop you guys off on the moon with your winter coats, and I'll come back and get you at the end of the winter to see how your material's doing. Now, nylon's melting point is 350 degrees Celsius, 663 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat is not felt the same way, they say, on the moon. It's felt through radiation. The astronauts feel the heat through their feet. And they have landing there during dawn. A day lasts 13.5 Earth days before the temperature rises to its extremes, which is maybe 253 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, it could take a while till it gets there, so they can land and be at a comfortable 30 degrees, and that's what the temperature was, I believe 28 degrees or 29 degrees Celsius when they landed in 1969. Anyways, the flag's lying down on the ground, in that temperature change. Just mentioning it. So now we're going to look right there. That's where they landed. This is where they said that they landed. I'm trying to look really close, and you know what? If some of those lines on the ground, the white lines there, are not ejecta, could they be footprints? Could we be actually seeing some of the footprints? I'm looking at the original photo and trying to compare it, always changing angles. I'm still not seeing it yet. This is sort of an integration to the real video, because I'll do a better video or more videos on it. I won't stop. We'll try to get in all the time. But look at these platform-like objects, well, levels anyways, where they are. We don't hear tell of that, do we? And we're seeing not too bad of a view. We should be able to get in clearer, maybe bringing down the contrast, upping the contrast, etc., and trying to get in close. So since I'm seriously trying to do this, I'm trying to zoom into the craters really slowly. First of all, understanding exactly what craters that we're seeing in this NASA photo. And, they don't spit that information out. They show us a landing site, and I've seen the X where the landing site is move around 10, 15 times in different areas. Where's the real landing site, right? Well, that's what NASA says is the area they landed. So we're actually literally looking at the area. It could either be footprints that we're seeing, but are we close enough to see footprints? Probably not. But aside from that, we're seeing a hell of a lot of detail, and with the NASA photo, we don't see that. In the NASA photo, we see a flat surface, right? Very flat gray surface. And where they landed, they actually landed in the area that's very colorful. So that's very intriguing to me. And when I say colorful, I mean colorful. Greens, blues, purples, all over the surface. And a lot of bridge-like looking massive platforms there. So I don't know. It's just an interesting area and site. And now I'm looking into Apollo 11, the site. They don't show anything. They show a mountain out of the window of the lander on Wikipedia. That's all they show. And just look what's there. And look at that oscillating light there at the end there. The details I'm seeing with my telescope is very different to the lunar orbiter lander photos. The photos are clear and crisp. What they're showing is clear and crisp, but we see a film on the surface. Again, leading me to believe it's cloud cover. I'm telling you, this is an X-ray. There's the landing site, Apollo 11 landing site. Really cool, guys. We're in the area. And there's other Apollo landings. You can see right over top there, Mons Argeas. That's the last moon landing, Apollo moon landing mission I talked about. So now there's two landings right here, and we could see a pretty cool glimpse of some of the surface objects that they could have talked about. So now I'll go back and compare that. This is exactly where they supposedly landed. This is Mare Tranquillitatis and all the other mares that you can see around it. Thanks for watching, everyone.